What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Celtics Talk podcast here on location in the Cox Pavilion practice courts in steamy Las Vegas. Actually, B-Rob, when I told you, now first off, B-Rob, we have done probably 1,000 podcasts together since like 2010 when I first came on here. I think this is the first one we've ever done in person.
Yeah, it feels weird.
It feels weird.
It's gonna go.
Either we need to spread out or get some Zooms. So we're gonna try and not make this awkward. But I told you originally that we were gonna be outside where it is 110 degrees. So I hope you're feeling a lot better about being in here.
I thought we were gonna put it to the test to see how long we would last, like us, or throw an egg on the ground, see how would last longer. But
cameraman Barry was hoping for outside because then we would have been done in 5 minutes because there was no way I was staying outside longer than that because it is aggressively hot in Las Vegas today. It's much cooler here inside the Cox Pavilion. Speaking of cool, the Celtics Summer League team, game one in the book. So what we do is we overreact.
Of course.
What was your biggest takeaway from game one? Loss to the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat extracting revenge for their Eastern Conference Finals loss.
That was a seasoned Miami Heat summer squad who'd been playing, I believe they played in another league before they even came to Vegas. But I guess the biggest thing to me was the play, I think, JD Davison coming out of the gate. Not a great shooting night, which I don't think anyone expected from him based on what happened with him in Alabama, but he looked like he was kind of NBA ready from an athleticism perspective. Defensively, he got after it, had a couple of nice blocks from behind, had a few nice lobs to the Celtics bigs there. So, again, it's Summer League, first game. He's going to be up with the main Celtics, my guess is, for much of the season developing up there. But in terms of taking a gamble on a guy at the end of the second round, it's a promising start from that standpoint.
Yeah, and look, he goes out, he gets his two-way deal done before, signs that, it has that little bit of momentum going into the game. And same deal, I think when we looked at the stats, we said, ooh, if the shooting split's not great, the turnover percentage super high. But from his introductory press conference, he said that he felt like he could take advantage of the NBA spacing, which we don't always see at Summer League.
Sure.
And was only one turnover, I think. So, I mean, super encouraging to me that he has that ability to play make. I think the shot will come around a little bit. Avery Bradley missed his first 600 shots in Boston before he figured it out. He was a good shooter eventually. So I didn't expect like high quality offense from him. But if he just does nothing but play make and you send him up to Maine and let him find his way, I do think that's super encouraging. I'm more bullish than I was when I was like, man, I don't even know if he's going to be on a two-way because even late second round picks got to kind of prove themselves. But it feels like that's the sweet spot for him, right? Like going up to Maine and just kind of like grinding away. And I mean, they told him he does have a chance here at a full roster role. But would you be surprised if he got elevated?
I would be, because once you have him on the two-way, he's 19 years old. He's not realistically going to contribute to a contending team next year.
With 9 point guards already.
Exactly,
so, yeah.
which is the deepest spot on the right. I mean, Payton Pritchard's going to be fighting for minutes next year. So that's a spot for him where they have other areas of need on the 15-man roster right now. I expect them to address that in the next couple weeks here. Potentially with some of the guys on this roster. We'll see how this plays out over the next week at Summer League. But you put him in Maine, get him in the system for a couple years, get him the reps, work with the shooting for him, and then see what he does. Because he was, he had a lot of hype coming into Alabama. It was a 5-star prospect out of high school. So the talent is there. It just has how they can kind of orchestrate it.
And, well, you won't be surprised at my biggest takeaway because from the first minute that we got a glimpse of the Summer Celtics, I was on the Trev train and Trevion Williams.
Crowded train.
I mean, look, I'm starting to, you know what? Sometimes I'm like the conductor who's like all aboard, everybody on. This one I'm kind of territorial about because, I don't know if enough people watch his YouTube clips before the Celtics signed him brought him in on the summer exhibition after he went undrafted. But I couldn't believe he didn't get picked. Now, I get it. You see the defensive end. You understand there's limitations there. But am I, crazy to be fairly bullish on what he can be?
I think you look at the passing, and you saw a couple of those passes in that first game, and you're like, wow, this guy has the kind of look from that standpoint. The issue is, I think, size and defense.
This team employed Enes Kanter.
Fair. But
at least he was big.
He was big.
Yeah.
And so right now, if he can kind of work his way in on the defensive end, that will be a big plus for this group. And he has a lot to prove, I think, on that end during the rest of this week in Las Vegas. But I think he's going to be a borderline guy. Whether he gets a crack during training camp, maybe has to go play overseas for a year, grinds it out in the G League, we'll see. But the Celtics clearly need a big. He provides something a little bit different than most of the bigs do on the free agent market right now. So that has to at least provide some alert for them.
All right, well, we got to take a quick break because we didn't realize another practice was coming in here. So we're going to stop down for a quick second before they kick us out. Better to let yourself out than to get kicked out. And we'll pick that up on the other side. Well, B-Rob, that's what we like to call karma. We were gloating about not having to be out in this oppressive sun. And then the Detroit Pistons will now forever be on my bleep list. First they get Sadiq Bey, now this. So we were trying to gush about Trevion Williams at that point, and I can't even remember because it's already so hot that I can't remember my coherent thought. But I do think I was saying I was letting people onto the hype train. It's going to fill up quickly, but as you expressed, I'm a little concerned. He needs to progress as a defensive player in order to earn that role. But for Summer League, he's perfect. And the more over-the-head, cross-court, sideways arm passes he can throw, I can't wait to see it. You're actually going to hear a little bit more from Trevion coming up. You did JD. Sam Hauser, obviously, not a great shooting night. Any concern at all?
It's one game, and
that's not the point. This is overreaction.
I mean, we're overreacting here,
overreaction
but here's the thing in Summer League.
Yeah.
The pace and space game is just not there as much, and the Celtics just don't have a lot of shooters out there. So Sam Hauser's getting a lot of
Whoa, Matt Ryan.
That's Matt Ryan. I want to say, tough game for Sam Hauser, but Matt Ryan did come and kind of steal the show a little bit in the first half of Game 1 against Miami there. So it's one game for Hauser. He has a track record last season of we know he can shoot, so something for him to work for the rest of this week here.
It's also just weird that the Summer Celtics not being like a wagon and just destroying everybody.
Yeah, it's
like they're back to earth a little bit.
It's bizarre because for years you'd always have 3 or 4 first-round picks out here, and now Brad Stevens has kind of gone the other direction, and there's some promise. But again, when Trevion Williams is kind of some of the best of the bunch here, it's come a long way.
So not only do we have the heat, we have car alarm going off. Like it's just it's a little bit of everything going on out here. I will say this: Brad Stevens might hurt our July ratings, but if it's at the expense of a good regular season roster, I'm okay with it.
Listen.
All right, I want to transition from Summer League to a couple Summer League side plots because you brought them up. So the Celtics still got to fill out this roster. Who do you think? Well, let's start with the summer squad. Is there anybody on this roster that you think has an inside chance, beyond obviously Hauser and now Davison on the two-way, of earning one of those final roster spots?
I think Broderick Thomas, just for the fact that he has been in the system for a year, he has the kind of size defensively that they could use for a guy at the end of the bench there. But I do think he has some work to do this week. He has to kind of prove it. Maybe just getting in to training camp, having to earn a spot there, that is not too much of a reach for him, but I'd give him the inside track out of everyone here.
Wow. And I don't disagree. I mean, like I said, I have to continue to rev the Trev train. So I think there's a chance that if they think they don't have any other big man on the outside that they feel like they can go get, and we'll get to that in a second, that maybe there's a chance they go that route. One of the things I've keep bringing up, and our guy Danger Cart is actually keeping me honest on this. So if the Celtics want the most tax savings, they bring in a guy with 0 years experience, but it has to be someone they drafted. So it has to either be Yamadar, Juhom Begaron, who we should actually talk about a little bit,
sure,
or Davison. And so if Davison is going to stick on a two-way, I wonder if Begaron can make a case. The case for Begaron, from my perspective, is he's at least a NBA-ready body who, you're unless everybody's arms and legs fall off, you will only need him for short spurts in lopsided games. Can you get 5-10 minutes out of Begaron if you desperately need it?
Can you? Yes. Do you want to? I'm not sure you do yet. From a shooting standpoint, from a just all around facilitation, we know he has.
We're talking about the 13th man.
We're talking about the 13th man, but there's not a lot of wing depth on this team now. Aaron Nesmith is gone. I expect him to sign maybe a veteran free agent or two on the wing still moving forward, but yeah, to fill that spot, I mean, you could certainly do worse. If you just want to get him, I can see more of the case, like getting him in the system now so he's more ready in a year or two.
The kind of argument to that is, do you start the clock? So if you sign him, it's probably a minimum deal, 2 years. Like all of a sudden now if he is good, your pathway to keeping him longer is a little bit more complicated, not impossible. We saw last year with Sam Hauser doing the two-way to a roster, to a new deal and restricted free agents, all that. So there's pathways to keeping them in-house. It's just you can't pay them a whole lot of money. You jumped ahead a little bit, but okay. So Aron Baynes had a workout out here.
Ooh.
Talk me down from getting the band back together.
I got no.
Yes.
No.
So we're in.
You get it. If he wants to come, I'd be surprised if he's going anywhere with a guaranteed deal, just based off of the year he's been away from the game. But it's a great story. I don't know if I've heard enough buzz and excitement on social media all summer than the fact that P was back working out again. And he's the exact type of guy that they could use there with some size, with some bulk, insurance behind Rob Williams and Al Horford. So if we'll see here that the clock is ticking, but it was cool to see him back out there working out, and the three shot looks good anyway.
I'm already sweating bullets, but I should have got a haircut before I came out here. The negative, which actually a lot of people have pointed out, is do you really want they got to be confident with his medicals and how he feels, and certainly coming back from the spinal cord injury. But even when he was healthy, he's just a charge taker and a bruiser, and so he typically gets injured.
Durability is always an issue.
So my thing is, like, if you only need him for spot minutes, I don't think it's a huge deal. But certainly, if you need someone who's a little bit more reliable as a third option, okay, you can talk me into it. That all goes out the window because I just want continuity. And we already saw this. The Celtics went out last year, signed a 36-year-old big man. We all were like, how much can Al Horford have left in the tank? We're going to do the same thing with Aron Baynes, and the next thing you know, he'll be starting games or something. So I really hope they think about it. And we know how Brad Stevens definitely has the ability to balance, relationships and emotions with, business side of basketball. But it's Aron Baynes we're talking about. And what a great story. Goes down with a spinal cord injury, like chance to rev back now. I hope it happens. Any other names you're hot on for one of those final spots?
I mean, definitely Dwight Howard, Tristan Thompson.
Oh my God!
I think if you just look at the list of other big men, if they go the veteran route, I'd love to give Baynes a shot over everyone else. But to be honest, it might just be a situation where you look who looks best in Summer League, whether it's on this team or other teams out here in Vegas, or a situation where you still have trade options. And I expect them to maybe look into that too.
And so that's the one thing I would leave open until July 18th, when this trade exception expires. They could look at small guys. Again, the tax implications at this point, having to pay $375 on every dollar you spent is prohibitive, and that's not fair to that player because it's not technically them they're splurging on.
Right.
It's the 6 guys over $17 million, but it's still something to factor in. All right, I've kept you out here in the heat long enough. How you feeling?
I got to work a little bit on my tan.
Yeah, I'm telling you, sometimes you get on the golf course, you're ready for these moments.
But I feel better about not sweating bullets.
I do, but still, Detroit Pistons, bleep you.
We're coming for you.
We're going to leave you today with our chat with Trevion Williams from Summer League practice today. Interesting kid. Check it out and get aboard the Trev train. All right, I want to start with this. We got this little video of you before during practice. You want to tell me what this dance move is?
There's no name for it, man. That's just me having fun, man.
You started knocking down some jumpers. All of a sudden, you had a little bounce in your step.
Yeah, man. Just try to you got to make your work fun, or else why do you do it? You know what I mean? So.
One of the things we heard about you coming to the Celtics was that you do have that personality that everybody can kind of gravitate towards in your positive energy. Is that just how did you develop that want to make everybody around you joyful?
It's something I figured out in college. When I came in as a freshman, I was a quiet guy. People always thought I had attitude. When really, I just really had nothing to say. You know what I mean? And as I got older, I had to come out of my comfort zone and just put a smile on my face. You'd be surprised what that does for other people around you. So I try to be positive in any way I can. So.
Well, one of the things you were telling us in the group interview before this was that you had a draft party planned and you were worried that your name might not get called, but you took it positively. Take me through that night and then getting the call. What did the Celtics say to you when they called you?
Man, they gave me an opportunity to play Summer League, and obviously my family still, we still had a great time. We still cheered for, this. We still celebrated and everything. We had some good food. You just look at the positives. I have some family there that I hadn't got to see in a while. So just because I've been traveling so much from basketball, so to be there with them, share that moment, and then to get the call after, like I said, it was huge for me. So.
A lot of people have gushed about, the surprise that you didn't get drafted. What do you want to show this week? What do you want to show the other teams that didn't take that chance on you?
Just show that I belong. I'm here for a reason. I think this lifestyle is not for everybody, but I put in the work to make it for me. And like I said, just showing people that I belong, that I'm a team first guy. I don't always. It's not always about me. I think the real flex is trying to how positively you can impact people around you. I think that's the kind of the real flex of everything. So. And just proving that I'm a good teammate, on and off the court, whether I'm playing, whether I'm on the bench, just being the cheerleader, throughout everything. So.
Were you a point guard as a kid or something? Where did those passing skills come from?
I was a point guard for a little while. My dad, always, pushed me to try to not be one-dimensional. So that's kind of where that comes from. And like I said, as I grew, positions had to change, and it was what it was, man. So, like I said, I did start out playing guard. My dad always tried to keep me in guard-like workouts. I didn't start playing big man until I'd say my junior year of high school. So, and I was still bringing the ball up in high school. So, like I said, it's about being good in your role. It's kind of how I was brought up. So,
I don't know how much you watched the Celtics in the past, but between Rob Williams and Al Horford, they've got like big men that like to pass the ball. So do you feel like you can fit into that same mold?
Oh, 100%, man. I definitely think I can fit in. I like Al's game a lot. I think we're very similar in terms of just player style. Rob's more of a more athletic big, and he'll go get lobs and block shots, and whereas Al's more of a he can facilitate, he can initiate offense. He can do a lot of things at the top of the key when he has the ball, and that's kind of where I see myself, facilitating at the top of the key, where it's out of post, whatever it is. That's kind of, the role he plays is kind of where I see myself.
Good luck this week.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Keep those dance moves going.
Yes, sir.